WDAM, Laurel, Hattiesburg. You're watching News 7 Midday. You've got 7 on your side.
The road to recovery continues for the Pine Belt after a tornado leaves behind mass destruction. That's our top story at midday today. I want to say good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Miranda Beard. Rex is here. Of course, some people nervous this morning after hearing thunderstorms move through the area once again.
That's very normal after you have a major tornado
no doubt.
event come through your area. But we could have a couple of severe storms this afternoon. But I think by tonight all that mess is going to be out of here and we'll be better. Our temperatures right now still hanging in the 50s at this point. We've got a warm front laying south of the coast. If we can get that thing to work in, we may have the chance of seeing 1 or 2 severe thunderstorms this afternoon. Hopefully nothing like what we saw on Sunday. Got a couple of showers developing here in the Pine Belt this afternoon. We have 1 active warning in our viewing area. That's a flash of warning for Wayne County until 3:15. Of course, we'll have a complete forecast coming for you in here in about 20 minutes. Right back to you at the news desk.
All right, thank you, Rex. Well, destruction in Petal after Sunday's tornado is still unimaginable. 7 on your side, Dean Wade is in Petal this afternoon with a live report on recovery efforts there. Dean, can you hear us? And what can you tell us so far and what's going on there?
Good afternoon, everyone. We're about just a little more than 40 hours now since that tornado made its way through the Pine Belt. And I have with me now Robert Latham, director of the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency, who has had a chance to view some of the worst damage here in the Pine Belt. What have you seen so far and what's being done right now?
Well, I think the good thing is that we've had about 80 injuries, but no fatalities. It's amazing that we've gotten out of this so far without any fatalities. I mean, the damage is widespread, and certainly I think the footage that we've seen on TV is indicative of the type of tornado that causes this type of damage. Priorities for us right now are to make sure that citizens have a safe and secure place to stay. We're working with local governments to do that. We're doing our initial damage assessments today. We have FEMA in the state trying to help us get that data. We hope by the end of the day that we'll have enough to submit a request to FEMA region onto the White House for some consideration for a disaster declaration. So
once they get that information, the president could, in theory, sign something in the next 24 hours or so.
He could. I mean, obviously, this has been well publicized on CNN and the local stations as well, so everybody knows we've been hit pretty hard. The state certainly is no strangers to disaster, so we want to make sure that citizens have the things they need. The process of recovery takes a while. Unfortunately, this time the weather's been just relentless. It hadn't given us a chance to catch our breath. Local officials are doing a great job. We just want to do what we can to help them, to get state assets in here to help them recover faster.
And speaking of local officials, we have with us also Petal Mayor Hal Marks, and we are here in Petal. And one of the hardest hit areas is right here behind us. This used to be an Ace Hardware store. It's totally demolished, and then it looks like just behind it, several other structures demolished as well. Tell us about that.
Well, this neighborhood, excuse my voice, this neighborhood behind Ace Hardware was really hard hit, as well as the neighborhood across the street over here on the other side of Main Street. The tornado came right through here. So a lot of our destruction is in this general area, a lot of homes. It didn't do as much damage to the commercial side of town as it did the residential area. We've got about 45 homes, major damage, 25 totally destroyed, over 100 with some type of damage. And I'll just say that was estimates from yesterday. We had teams out today looking, and that number's probably higher now. That's the latest information I had. But this neighborhood was like really one of the hardest hit, but not the only one. It kept going and it hit several other neighborhoods as well.
I know we had spoken earlier. You talked about Tropical Gardens as being hard hit as well. Is that number included in the numbers that you added to, you just told us about?
Yes, those numbers are included. We went out and looked, but that was only one team that went out. We had several teams out, so I'm expecting the number to be a little bit higher. But easy to say, we've got well over 100 homes that have been seriously damaged.
Residents in Petal looking for help, where do they go?
Well, the main thing is they want to call City Hall at 545-1776. We'll put them in touch with whomever they need to talk to. We've got volunteer efforts. Our churches have been great about coming out and getting volunteers together. They're gathering at Petal Harvey Baptist Church on Main Street to go out into the neighborhoods and help however they need to. So if they want to call the church, I don't have that number, but they can call that. But if they'll call City Hall, we will get them in touch with who they need to talk to.
All right, Petal Mayor Hal Marks, thank you very much. Already, the initial estimates are there were about 600 homes that were either had major damage or that were destroyed. As the assessment continues, we think those numbers will continue to climb. Back to you all in the studio.
Thank you. That was Dean Wade reporting live from Petal. Well, Sunday's tornado hit the East Hattiesburg area pretty hard as well. Disaster agencies are out as we speak in the Bowie Street community at this hour, going door to door, trying to assist as many people as they can. 7 on your side's Ontario Richardson has the very latest.
That's right, Miranda. I'm actually a block up from Bowie Street. I'm here on Fairley Street, and if you look here behind me, it actually looks like a war zone. I believe what this storm did, it left over by Mary Dupree House in Mount Carmel, and it came across, going all the way out to the Bobby Chain area. Power lines are still down here. There are some people in this community that are out cleaning up. The Red Cross directors, they're walking the street, letting people know that they're serving hot meals over at the Ebenezer Baptist Church for people who live in this community. So if you live in this community and you're without power, or if you know someone who live in the community without power, please let them know that the Salvation Army is set up here in this area over by the Ebenezer Baptist Church. They have a truck set up serving people in the community hot meals. I'm Ontario Richardson reporting here in East Hattiesburg for 7 on your side. Miranda.
Thank you, Ontario. Sherry Falk is also in East Hattiesburg, getting a first-hand look at the wrath of Sunday's tornado. On East 5th Street, one family is still finding it hard to believe they even survived, because half of their home is now a pile of rubble.
Hey guys, I'm standing here in Mr. Jerry Lewis's what used to be his garage. As you can see, there is debris everywhere. Trees toppled over. The tornado came right through here. Not only did it damage his garage, or destroy his garage, I should say, his house is damaged too. But if you look over this way, his neighbor no longer has a roof. There's nothing left. It's in Mr. Lewis's backyard and everywhere else along 5th Street and Mobile Street. Now, if you take a look over this way, as you can see, the deck still in place here. Mr. Lewis's family, they were in their kitchen, which is right over here. They were looking out the window and they were watching a woman hanging on to that pole right there. If you look and you see, it's that tiny wood pole that is standing by itself in the middle of his backyard. She was holding on to that for her dear life. Now, obviously, he couldn't run out and help her in the middle of the storm, but he says she held on, and he's hoping that she made it through okay. Now, this is just the beginning of what we're seeing here in East Hattiesburg. As I said earlier, we are off of East 5th Street. We drove down Mobile Street, all of those buildings gone. This is the beginning of our day, and we will bring you more later on tonight.
Thank you, Sherry. Another badly damaged area was between Hardy Street and Arlington Loop in Hattiesburg as well. It is here what we have meteorologist Robert Whitehurst reporting.
Well, we're reporting this afternoon from South 37th Avenue near Arlington Loop and pretty close to Hardy Street, just one of many badly damaged areas across the Pine Belt. Basically what we've seen this morning is a lot of families out trying to pick up the pieces, a lot of damaged roofs as the rain has continued to fall throughout the last 24 to 48 hours. We're starting to see rain getting into these homes and causing even more damage. So we've seen a lot of U-Haul trucks and trucks trying to get the possessions out to protect them from the rain that continues to fall here in Hattiesburg. We've also seen a whole lot of cleanup crews, a whole lot of power lines remain down, power poles remain down, trees remain down here, a lot of road closures, and they are asking people to please stay away from the area unless you have really pressing business here along Arlington Loop. Power is going to remain out along a good portion of Hardy Street for a while as power crews from across the region are trying to move in here and really get the power lines set back up and get these trees cleared from the road. Now, we're going to continue to have updates for the remainder of the day. For now, let's send it back to the studio.
Thank you, Robert, for that report. And in Lamar County, officials say 51 homes were destroyed there. 170 suffered some major damage, 115 minor damage, and 82 others were affected by the storm. One of the hardest hit areas was the Lamar Park subdivision. That's where Vanessa Pacheco is. Vanessa, what can you tell us?
Hey Miranda, we're here in Lamar Park and I'm here with Christy Matheny. Ms. Matheny, can you tell me a little bit about how did you find out that the tornado was coming? What were you doing? Where were you at?
Well, I was in the living room watching TV. Had the alerts on Facebook, but Chris said turn it to WDAM, so we did, and we went. Then we got a call that said it was in Bent Creek, so within like just a couple minutes it was here. And he said, get in the basement, get in the basement. And within 45 seconds it was all done. It was over.
Can you tell me like what damage was caused? What has this done to your family? Are you able to live here?
No, we can't stay here now. The trees covered both of our vehicles. We have a tree in 4 of the rooms in our house. We're trying today to get that off so that we can at least tarp and save what we can.
Okay. What has this done for you? I mean, what does it make you feel? Anything?
It mostly made me feel grateful living in a community that just reaches out to help each other and takes care of each other. I mean, never have we had to ask anyone to help. Everyone's volunteered.
So who would you say would help you, get alerted by, what helped you just know, okay, the tornado's coming, let's prepare, let's do?
Definitely you want to keep the alerts on your phone from WDAM, on Facebook, or the TV if you're not close. Definitely keep anything you can.
Well, we're glad you're okay.
We're very healthy, thank you.
Miranda, back to you.
Well, Carrie Leggett Brown is continuing our report from Lamar Park. Carrie?
That's right, Miranda. We're here in Lamar Park, and joining me now is Samaris Ward, and this is her house right behind me. As you can see, a tree fell on her car and actually into her house. Mrs. Ward, just tell me, what was all this like? How did you know that a tornado was coming your way?
Well, we were actually watching WDAM News, and we heard that the tornado was getting closer to the Oak Grove area, so I gathered all the things that we needed to go into the bathroom to cover our heads, and probably about 5 to 10 minutes before it hit, I heard a loud roaring noise and my ears popped, and so I informed the boys, my 4 boys, to go into the tub, and we all got into the tub, and it hit, the lights went off, and that was it.
How long did it actually last?
It only lasted a couple of seconds, and it got dead quiet after it ended. And so we sat for a few minutes, and then I got up to assess the damage and got the boys out of the house because I actually smelled gas leaking.
And you said right before the tornado hit, you guys were in the area of the home where the tree's now, so just talk about that.
We were actually in that area where the tree actually hit. We had just got home, and so the boys went into the studio area, and they were all settling down, and as I saw on the TV that it was a little bit closer to our area, I informed them to go to the restroom so we can hang tight.
I know that was a scary situation, but do you feel like you had to be strong for your boys no matter what happened?
You have to be strong for your boys, because if you show that you're weak at that time, then everything can fall apart. But, thank God, that there were no casualties during this storm, and he kept all of us safe.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ward. I really appreciate it. Again, we're here on Lamar Park. A lot of damage, and we'll have much more on this area later. Miranda, back to you.
Thank you, Carrie, for that update. And in the heart of Pearl Street, houses were leveled and lives devastated there as well. To help rebuild what's been lost, dozens of volunteers have given of themselves to help other people in the area start up once again. Elizabeth Gooch joins us now from Hattiesburg.
I'm Elizabeth Gooch here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi on Pearl Street with some volunteers from the university who have come to help clean up the damage, which is unimaginable. I'm here with Colin Krausen, who's from USM. And tell me, Colin, what made you want to come out and help today?
Just knowing that this could have happened to us, and since it didn't, we're just trying to give our time back to the community who actually needs it. So as a fraternity, we figured we'd come out and lend our hand in any way we could.
So my understanding is you and your SAE brothers were here when the tornado hit, right?
We were inside the fraternity house.
What was it like?
We could just see it was coming. We could hear the noise. We saw the power flash, and we instantly knew that we just needed to get under the stairs and get in cover.
Wow. When you came outside, was the damage just, unthinkable from what I can tell?
Not at the fraternity house, but when we went to the front of campus, just all the new buildings and structures that were just rebuilt, it wasn't home, and it wasn't what we were used to. And then we finally went to our own homes and saw they were okay, and saw the other damage done in the community. It was unbelievable.
Now, the house you're cleaning up here now, it seems to be pretty significantly damaged. Have you seen the resident that lived here, or seen anybody on the street, I guess, that lived here?
We actually met the owner of the house a few minutes ago, actually one of the faculty here at Southern Miss, so we figured why not start with the faculty, who need to get back to campus just like we do on Thursday.
Wow. So are you going to plan on staying and helping clean up?
Oh, we will, most definitely.
I'm Elizabeth Gooch in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Elizabeth. One organization helping storm victims in need of food in Hattiesburg is extratable.org. An organization was started by restaurant owner Robert St. John. Extra Table buys food in bulk to deliver straight to area agencies who feed the hungry. All of the donations go directly to buying food. So St. John says local agencies expect a big turnout today as many people are going back to their houses. Extra Table will also be there to help as well.
What we're doing, instead of delivering, which we typically do at the last Wednesday of every month, we're delivering every Wednesday to Hattiesburg until the two agencies here, which are Christian Services Center and Edward Street Fellowship Center, are fully stocked with all the food they feel like they need to service, people that have been affected by the tornado.
If you'd like to, you can donate by going to extratable.org or by dropping items off at Crescent City, Purple Parrot, Tabella, or the Greater Pine Belt Community Foundation. Coming up, law enforcement officials say, beware of looters and scammers looking to make a quick buck out of this disaster. The details right after this break.
You're watching News 7 Midday with Miranda Beard and Rex Thompson. You've got 7 on your side.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Hancock Bank and Stone County Hospital.
What are those?
You're watching News 7 Midday. You've got 7 on your side.
And welcome back, everybody. Your current time right now is about 12:17. It's kind of hard to believe. Instead of helping storm victims, there are some folks out there who take advantage by looting or scams. Well, Hattiesburg Police Lieutenant John Traxler joins us now on the phone with an update on what the city is doing to warn folks about scammers and looters out there. Lieutenant Traxler, how are you, sir?
Doing well, Miranda. How are you?
What is the city doing at this point to prevent looting and scammers from taking advantage of storm victims?
As far as the looters are concerned, we are actually out in the streets with it, with the citizen stuff. We see people that are doing that, or we get a call on it, we catch them. We are arresting. We have arrested a couple of people. But the main thing is to give us a call if they do see somebody that's taking stuff out of other people's yards, things like that. Give us a good description so that we can try to apprehend them.
Are you getting very many reports at this time about such a thing going on right now?
I'm sorry, Miranda, do what?
Are you getting very many calls or reports about this going on, looting and scammers?
Right now we're getting a lot of calls on the looter, basically riding through trying to pick up metal and stuff out of people's yards. Not much on scammers right now. Just to warn the public is if somebody comes up wanting to do a quick job for you, don't pay them until the job's finished. If you agree for the work to be done, and get something in writing from them, get some business license. They should be going through getting permits to be able to work inside the city if they are from out of town and things like that. Just use caution and see what's going on with the business. Get as much information on it as you can.
Now, I know you have said this kind of behavior will not be tolerated.
That's correct. And like I said, we have arrested a couple for the theft out of people's yards, and we are very diligently working with all of our people that are out there with us to work with the citizens. And if they have a complaint, don't hesitate to give us a call.
Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for that update, sir, and we appreciate it very much. That was Lieutenant John Traxler with the Hattiesburg Police Department. A progress report on restoring power in a moment, but first, your midday numbers on Wall Street.
Give us. You are watching News 7 Midday. You've got 7 on your side.
And welcome back, everybody. About 22 minutes after the hour right now. About 13,000 people at one point or another were without power once this tornado hit the area. Dixie Electric worked tirelessly overnight and into the wee hours of the morning trying to restore power to folks. We have with us today with an update is Lydia Walters with Dixie Electric Power Association. How are you?
I'm good, Miranda. How are you?
Fine, thank you. What can you tell us? I know you had a number of people without power that are on your service.
We did. This was kind of a unique storm. We had two concentrated areas where the tornado affected us, in the Petal, Macedonia area and then also in Wayne County. At the height, and we kind of looked at our numbers pretty close this morning, we had about 5,600 of our members affected. Most, 3,500 of those were in Forest County and about 1,500 were in Wayne County.
Where do we stand at this point in time?
We restored everyone that could safely receive power by 6 o'clock last night. And I'm very proud of our linemen who were out there working. They had to brave the devastation and the bad weather, but they worked tirelessly from Sunday afternoon to about 6 o'clock last night to restore everyone.
Now, there are some places you cannot at this point, and there's a good reason why.
Yes, certainly. As you just saw the pictures, your reporters were out. That type of damage cannot safely receive power. And so as individuals will be able to, rebuild their homes and get their electric wiring corrected, then we'll be able to go out and supply those individuals as well.
Now, if people want to report something to you, Lydia, what should they do?
They can call any of our offices. Our phone lines are back working. We had some issues with our phone lines ourselves on Sunday. They can call any of our offices to report an outage.
All right, it's always glad to have you.
Okay, thank you.
Good to have you in the studio today. That's Lydia Walters with the Dixie Electric Power Association. Rex is coming up, so stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. I got her.
Keep your umbrellas handy. We have more rain developing here in the Pine Belt, and it's going to hang around through this evening. Then I think after midnight, we're going to start seeing a big decrease in it, and that is certainly some good news. We can't rule out the possibility of maybe some severe weather later on this afternoon, but I think it's not going to be nearly anything like we saw Sunday. So hopefully we'll get through this afternoon and evening just fine. There's the forecast for the next 5 hours. This has going to about 60 for a high. We may reach 65 in some areas if we get that warm front through here, but just not quite sure about that yet. Now, this is the somewhat of the path. This is a demonstration of a similar path the storm took as it became an EF4 in the Forest County and Lamar County areas when it was going through Oak Grove. Then obviously it moved into the very populated areas through there. And then we headed it on into Hattiesburg, finally getting past and then moving on. And it pretty much looked like it took an east-northeast track. And then obviously it left us, thank goodness for that. And here's another look at it. It was the same parent storm produced the tornado in Marion County and then produced the same tornado that actually came through Lamar and Forest counties too. And that obviously at one point is where it became a disastrous thing when it became the EF4, which is about as high as you get on the scale. The highest it goes is EF5. So to have no fatalities in this area is absolutely a miracle. That's all I can call it. Temperatures right now mainly in the 50s across the board. We're rain-soaked today, but we've had some breaks in the rain. This is the current warning map, and nothing going on but a flash flood warning for Wayne County until 3:15. We have showers and thunderstorms moving through. Some areas not getting any rain at all, but I think everybody will end up getting something later on this evening. Here's a loop of the motion of the precipitation at this point. We have a warm front laying to the south of us, and a system's pushing out of Texas rapidly, and that is going to provide a slight chance for the possibility of some severe weather to develop when that system moves through later on this afternoon and this evening. Just keep your fingers crossed everything happens. Flash flood watch in effect until 6 p.m. We're going to monitor the situation here for you. This is the current watch warning map, and nothing in our area, only Wayne County with the flash flood warning until 3:15. Now we'll take a look and kind of zoom this thing out a little bit. And the good news is we can see it clearing out of Texas now, and that just tells me that things are going to get better for us once this system kicks out and kicks on and lifts on through. And finally, we're going to get some better weather in here starting tomorrow afternoon. Here's the forecast: 65 at best, 90% chance of showers and thunderstorms, some possibly severe winds southeast at 5 to 10. We drop that down to about a 50% chance around midnight, 55 the low, winds west at 5 to 10. And the first 3 days is a 7-day forecast. I've got a 30% chance for lingering showers in the morning. I think we'll actually see partly cloudy skies in Wednesday afternoon. And then sunny weather comes back, and much colder weather is coming back. And we forget about tornadoes for a while. We'll be in the lows in the 30s Thursday, Friday, Saturday mornings, 20s on Sunday morning. And that's the way it is.
Rex, that storm cell you were talking about brought with it a tremendous amount of rains, and then it's still raining, and a lot of people are dealing with possibility of flooding.
Stuff like that. I know it's a mess.
It is indeed. Thank you, sir. And, of course, thank you for joining us, everybody. Have a great day.